Welcome back, history enthusiasts. Today, we're diving deep into a forgotten chapter of World War II, the untold story of Soviet Ostarbeiter. Prepare to be captivated as we unveil a hidden piece of history that has been overshadowed by larger narratives. From the struggles and sacrifices to the triumphs and resilience, this eye-opening journey will leave you with a whole new perspective. So, grab a seat and join us as we shed light on the forgotten story of Soviet Ostarbeiter. But before we begin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get started. The forgotten story of Soviet Ostarbeiter, unveiling a hidden chapter. Chapter 1, the beginnings of Ostarbeiter. In the darkest corners of history lie tales that are often forgotten, overshadowed by more prominent events. One such story is that of the Soviet Ostarbeiter, a hidden chapter in the annals of World War II. While the world remembers the atrocities committed by the Nazis, the plight of these forced laborers remains largely untold. In this article, we will delve into the origins of the Ostarbeiter, shedding light on their forgotten story. The year was 1941, and Nazi Germany had launched its brutal invasion of the Soviet Union. As the war raged on, German authorities sought to exploit the conquered territories by mobilizing their workforce for the Nazi war machine. Millions of civilians from the occupied Soviet territories were forcibly transported to Germany to toil in factories, farms, and other essential industries. These workers, known as Ostarbeiter, were primarily comprised of men and women from Ukraine, Belarus, and Russia. The term Ostarbeiter itself is a portmanteau of the German words for East and worker. They were coerced into labor, stripped of their freedom, and subjected to inhumane conditions. Chapter 2, Life as an Ostarbeiter. The life of an Ostarbeiter was one of utter despair and hardship. Upon arrival in Germany, they were forcibly separated from their families and transported to remote regions. Men and women were segregated into different camps, where they were subjected to harsh living conditions, meager rations, and constant surveillance. In the factories, Ostarbeiter toiled for long hours, often working in hazardous environments without proper protective gear. They were given backbreaking tasks, from operating heavy machinery to working in coal mines. The Nazis exploited their labor to fuel their war machine, showing little regard for their well-being or safety. Despite the hardships, the Ostarbeiter displayed remarkable resilience and determination in the face of adversity. Many formed tight-knit communities within the camps, offering each other support and solace. They found strength in their shared experiences and held on to the hope of one day returning home. Chapter 3, Resistance and Survival. While the Ostarbeiter were subjected to the cruelties of forced labor, some found ways to resist and defy their oppressors. Acts of sabotage, such as purposefully slowing down production or intentionally damaging machinery, were common forms of resistance. These acts of defiance allowed the Ostarbeiter to strike back at their captors, even in small ways. Survival in the camps required resourcefulness and adaptability. The Ostarbeiter learned to make the most of their limited resources, improvising tools and finding innovative ways to meet their basic needs. Their resilience and ingenuity were integral to their survival in the face of overwhelming adversity. Chapter 4, Liberation and Aftermath. As the tides of war turned against Nazi Germany, the Soviet Ostarbeiter were finally liberated from their captors. The end of World War II brought both relief and uncertainty for these individuals. Many were finally reunited with their families, while others discovered the devastating truth that their loved ones had perished during the war. The Ostarbeiter faced numerous challenges in the aftermath of the war. They grappled with the physical and emotional scars inflicted upon them by years of forced labor. The Soviet Union, too, had endured immense suffering and destruction, leaving the Ostarbeiter to rebuild their lives in a shattered homeland. Chapter 5, Remembering the Ostarbeiter. Today, the story of the Soviet Ostarbeiter remains largely unknown to the wider world. It is a forgotten chapter that deserves to be remembered and commemorated. These individuals, who endured unimaginable hardships, deserve recognition for their resilience and unwavering spirit. Their story serves as a reminder of the atrocities committed during World War II and the indomitable human spirit that perseveres even in the darkest times. As we unveil this hidden chapter, let us not forget the Ostarbeiter and the sacrifices they made. Their story deserves to be told, so that we may learn from the past and ensure that such horrors are never repeated.